Yo, what's up guys? My name is JT and this is of course Model Railroad of the Southwest. So I have an update video for you guys today, and what I've done is I've installed some street lights on the layout as well as some parking lot lights at the UPS store and near the international dealership. I think they came out really good. They look great. They are from Atlas. I think they're a new release. I'm not sure. There's very little information on them. I got them from Midwest Model Railroad, and let me tell you guys, they are great. I had some that were actually the wrong color. As you see, the one over there near the UPS store and the one over the semi-truck at the international dealership, they're the cool white. They were labeled as the warm color, as you see those double ones near the international dealership. And they were, like I said, they were the cool color, and they were already installed on the layout, already wired, and I turned them on. I was like, oh shoot, well, would you look at that? They are cool blue. I should have bench tested them, but I did not do that. But anyway, I called up Midwest Model Railroad, and they hooked me up, and they sent me an additional 3 packages of the street lights or the parking lot lights, and those are hopefully warm colored, because I have not taken them out and wired them up, because you have to wire in some resistors and all that stuff, and it's kind of tedious to do all that. Anyway, I think they look really good. Let me give you guys a quick look of what they look like when it's dark in the room. Alrighty guys, so here's what it looks like with the lights off in the layout room, and let me tell you guys, it looks great. You know, before I'd run the layout at night and it'd just be kind of boring because all you see is the headlights on the engine. But now when you're running trains at night, it just looks great. You know, it really transforms the look of the layout. If you guys have not installed any sort of lights on your layout, you guys are really missing out. You guys got to really try putting on some lights on your layout if you have not done so already. If you guys are curious, back there's the DDA40X along with an SD70 ACE and some New York Central passenger cars from MTH. Now, I have this set up so that it kind of has some sort of a business train sort of thing for the executives or something like that. You know, they're New York Central cars, but whatever. You know, it's just kind of just something I wanted to put together, see if it looks good. I've been really thinking about getting into the market for some passenger cars to run a nice Union Pacific business train, and also maybe a BNSF business train with those new Gevos I got from Scale Trains. But anyway, let's get back to the layout. Let me go ahead and take this camera off the tripod and we'll take a look at the lights on the layout. Alrighty, so I want to start off at the gas station. What I did is I added a light to light up the McDonald's sign, and I think that just really changed the look of this building, and also added another light so now it's not so dim. And I did change up the way those the way the wax paper was in there, and I just changed the way it was because it really wasn't diffusing well. It just looked really awful. And over here, what I did was, like I said, I installed these lights, and the cool white light over that truck looks pretty neat. I think I really wanted the warm white, but I think the cool white looks pretty good. There's the showroom to the dealership. And there's the back over here, so it's lighting up really good. So if some people or some of the workers want to work on some of the semi trucks at night, they have light now. There's that other cool white parking lot light. Let's go get on the other side of the layout so we can take a better look. Here's the UPS store, and I changed up the light diffusing wax paper in it too, and it looks much better. I had it concaved in the last video. It just really wasn't working out. It didn't look too good, so I have it closer up to the window. It looks much more realistic. Even though you can't see the interior, it just looks good. So here are the street lights. Let me give you guys a look at them. They just look so realistic, and it just really brings this whole scene together. But I really will tell you guys, you know, these were tedious to install. They're a little bit difficult, but if you have a little bit of patience and a little bit of skill, you can get these done. You know, like I said, they were a little tedious, but you know, the outcome really outweighs the difficulty of the installation. So let me show you guys a little bit more of the layout, and I'll wrap up this video. One other thing that I was able to get done was I actually weathered up the roads, and man, they look really good. I put some cracks in the road and simulated the rubberizing compound that they use to fill in the cracks, so that's why it's a little dark and black. I was able to put some oil spots and then I weathered them up a little bit. What I use to weather them is Monroe's weathering powders, and that stuff is so easy to use. I haven't fixed them down with any sort of matte coating, but I think it'll work out because I really don't touch the layout much. But there are the oil spots there, and there's some more of the cracks. I think overall it came out really good. It has some tire markings coming out of the garage door and some oil spots there as well. It's a little dirty on this area just because they work on trucks there. Alright guys, I'm going to show you guys one more thing and then I'll wrap up this video. So I'm going to start working on this side of the layout. As you can see, there are some Woodland Scenics risers there. That is for another highway that's going to cross the railroad tracks. There's going to be a couple of buildings here. On the right, there's going to be a large building. On the left, there's going to be another building. I'm not going to say what they are. I'm not trying to keep it a secret or anything like that. It's just every time I tell you guys I'm going to do something, I don't do it and I change my mind and do something else. But I'll give you guys a quick hint. The building on the left is going to be a fast food restaurant, and both kits are going to be from Summit Custom Kits, and I know those are kind of hard to build and difficult to work with. I've heard from other modelers, but I'm going to try my best to make them look good because when they're done right and built right, they look amazing. So let me show you guys another thing that I'm going to work on. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Have you guys ever had an awkward, difficult area on your layout that you just can't seem to find a good idea that works? Well, you're looking at it here on my layout. I've spent several months trying to brainstorm an idea for this portion of the layout. I originally wanted to do some sort of a concrete plant, but with the way the scene was going to be on the right, because I had already had this imagined in my head on the right, and of course the travel center on the left. Although, like I said, the concrete plant wasn't going to work, and the main reason was because of the way the terrain on the right is much higher and the terrain on the left. And the main reason that is because this entire layout is based off of a mountain desert area with lots of hills and lots of mountains and a huge variety of terrain. And the entire layout is based off of the 4-inch risers that the track's sitting on. So that's what's made it difficult. So in order to incorporate the terrain elevation changes and everything, there's just really not enough room on this layout. You know, I really wanted to build a much bigger layout. I could have, I just didn't, and I really kind of regret that right now. Anyway, so let me get the idea out that I'm trying to, tell you guys. So everything that I was going to put here, I was going to put buildings and stuff like that, it's just not going to work. There's not enough room. So what I was thinking was to build a mountain. And I was trying to watch my kids at the same time I was building this mountain, so I decided to take everything into the kitchen and the living room to build this mountain, and it was off the layout. I didn't have any idea of how big this mountain was going to be just because it was off the layout. So let me give you guys a quick look. So I built this in my kitchen, and what was on top of it was this top portion. And as you can see, that is obnoxious, isn't it? Look how huge it is compared to where the terrain is down here where the travel center is. It kind of looks stupid in my opinion. On the other side where the track is, it looks great. The trains would come around it looking really good. And there's going to be a lot of rock face on this mountain. It just did not work. So what I've decided to do was I was going to throw it all together, but I decided to pull off that top portion. And now it looks believable and it looks, okay, because, this is going to be a sort of a mesa style mountain sort of, landform. And there's going to be some rock face and, some sand, some weeds and stuff like that. And I think it'll look good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave off this portion, to make it come down, to match the terrain on this side, and do the same thing on this side here. Try to incorporate it into the terrain, make it look believable. And also I'm going to do the same thing here. I think I'm going to bring it down just a bit here, and on the back side of it next to the track, I'm going to do the same thing, take off a little bit of material, trying to make it look much more believable. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put some newspaper here and bring it in all together so that it looks good, like a little bit of a nice area. So I think this is going to look good. I'm going to show you guys in the next coming videos. I might make a how-to video on how I do this entire thing. But hopefully maybe I will do a how-to video on how I do the foam work and how I do the scenery and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you liked all the street lights and all that stuff and all that jazz. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys liked the video. Like I said, if you guys have any questions or comments, put in a comment below. Talk to you later. Take care and keep it between the rails.